Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install macOS Sequoia on Proxmox. So this is the new way, and the new way involves obviously installing the Proxmox hypervisor and running macOS on that. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through what Proxmox is and what the new way is first, and then I'll show you our template that you can get from the description below, which will allow you to get up and running in 6 easy steps. So let's get into it. So the new way is an effortless approach to running macOS on a PC, allowing obviously people with limited computer knowledge to run this, and it employs the method called Proxmox Virtual Environment, which is a open source hypervisor which allows us to virtualize macOS in a virtual machine or a VM. The new way eliminates the need for complex installation and presents no performance loss, unlike the traditional bare metal route. And our templates make the setup a one-click install, which I'll show you in a few moments, transforming your PC into a macOS monster. So, depending on your hardware, it depends on how much performance you get. You can go from an Intel Core i3 all the way up to an AMD Ryzen Threadripper, for example. So, some of our reviews then. So you can see them here. The latest one from Jake that I've just finished setting up. You can see any questions or concerns get answered, and when a few hiccups popped up for him, I obviously remedied them right away. And you can see he's using macOS for gaming. He's very happy, as well as the other reviewers there you can see. Please obviously pause if you want to read these. But once you've purchased the script, you'll see a screen like this. So once you've purchased it, you'll get a PDF document that tells you how to get the script installed and running, and then you just go 1 to 6 here, and then you press number 3 and you will have a option there for macOS Sequoia. Now this is in developer beta at the moment, so it may not run as you expect. This is because it's in dev beta. When public beta comes out, it will run a bit smoother. So once you've downloaded the script, if you head to your local disk and click on backups, your backup will be here. I've just got them in ISOs. So once you've got the backup, you select it, yours will be in local, click on restore, choose a disk, so I'm going to put it on my 1TB RAID 1, give it a name, change the amount of memory and cores, and just click one click there, and you're now restoring. So instead of keeping you waiting, I'll be back in a moment when it's finished restoring the VM. It shouldn't take too long at all, around 3 minutes usually. Whilst this restores, all the commands and everything like that in this video are in the description below, such as how to install Proxmox and set it up. So there'll be an in-depth guide below if you're unsure how to get started. I just thought I'd mention that now just before we get on to installing the template. You can see now it says task OK, which means our virtual machine template is now restored. So I'm going to close this, head over to HCS Sequoia. You can see revision 1, and it is obviously experimental. So before we boot our virtual machine, I'm on an AMD CPU, so I'm going to need to copy these arguments and paste them into the config file. If you're also on a 12th to 14th gen CPU, you can copy these ones. Otherwise, if you're on a normal Intel CPU, you can just continue without this extra step. If you are on AMD, for example, you want to go over to your node, shell, and do nano /etc /pve /qemu server / and then your VM ID. Mine's 109, you can see that there. .conf. Press enter, it'll open up a config file. We scroll down with the arrow keys until we find args, comment that out, and then make a space and paste that in there. Once done, Control X, Y, enter, and now we're ready to boot Sequoia. So go on to console. You can obviously change the memory properties and stuff. I'm just going to leave it at default for now. Click on start now, and shortly we should see our boot up screen. So I'm going to obviously click on install macOS 15 beta, and essentially once this loads up, you just do it like any other Mac, so it'll launch up macOS recovery, and then obviously from there you can install macOS. I'll just show you that now because it is loading up. So you can see there, disk utility first, double click on that, click on your Apple Link VertIO block media, erase, give it a name. Now this may be a bit laggy, just because obviously we've not got a GPU pass through. I'm just clicking done. So once you've got that GPU pass through, it should be fine. So install macOS 15 beta, double click on that, and then obviously continue. There will be some agreement further ahead. It will be quite slow when you've not got a GPU pass through, and also you're on the beta, so you can't really expect anything much that really. What I'm going to do, instead of keeping you waiting, I'm just going to skip forward. So if I click on agree again, that's at your own discretion. I'm selecting my macOS disk that I've just named and clicking on continue. This will then install macOS onto the disk, and we will get a rebooting process that we need to wait for around 18 minutes, so I'll see you in a moment. So at some point in the installation, macOS will reboot. All you need to do, instead of clicking install macOS 15, you need to go to macOS installer. You need to do this every time it reboots. There will be another additional progress bar, but you're not going to click install macOS 15 beta. You only need to click on that if you want to reinstall macOS, of course. You can see another long awaited progress bar. Again, after around 20 minutes, we're greeted with another macOS installer screen. I'm just going to press enter on that. I'm going to keep doing that until we get to the setup screen. So you can see we're on the setup screen. So we're going to set it up like a real Mac, except skipping all the Apple ID parts, etc. So instead of keeping you waiting on camera, I will set this up and I'll meet you once I'm on the desktop for one crucial part. So here we are, we're going to be greeted with the desktop once we click continue. So it will be very laggy to start with. Obviously we're in beta and we've not got any graphics passed through. The first thing I recommend you do is transfer the correct EFI folder. To do this, go to Finder. Once Finder opens, we're going to go to the HGS disk, as you can see here. And first of all, drag the Getting Started folder to somewhere like your downloads. This means when we remove the Getting Started folder later, we'll still have a copy on our downloads folder. You can see here. This is useful if you want to make any changes later after we remove the EFI temporary disk. So you can see it's around 1 GB in size. It shouldn't take too long to copy over, but again, depending on your disk speed, depends on how long it's going to take. If I double click in to get started, first we'll visit EFIs, and you need to choose the correct EFI. Now the legacy NVIDIA GPUs, they won't work at the moment, so don't even bother trying those if you've got a NVIDIA GPU. You're looking, are you on, for example, a 6900 XT, you'd choose this one, or a 5000 series GPU, etc. If you're on one of AMD's native ones like the RX 570 like myself, I'm going to double click into that folder. It'll extract the folder from within. Double click into that, right click on the EFI folder and copy that. Then if we go back to the main Getting Started folder, double click into Tools. You can use Mount EFI, but for easiness here I'm just using OpenCore Configurator. Click on Open. Again, you can use whatever tool you like. This is just my personal bad habit favourite. If I click Open, in a few moments we should, first of all, on Sequoia, you do get an issue like this where you need to open up settings and then go to privacy and security and open anyway. So they've even disabled the right click that you could do before. Privacy and security, and just scroll down and there should be, there you go, open anywhere. So click on that, open anywhere, and it shouldn't ask for that again. Again, put your password in. Once this is open, go to Tools, Mount EFI, Mount Partition, this should be the only one, 1, 2, 3, 4 for me. Open partition, it should be empty, and then you just want to paste the EFI folder in there. Now you can make changes if you're more advanced, such if you want to have a custom SM BIOS for Apple ID, but I'll leave that choice entirely up to you. If you need any assistance with it, then of course you can ask for that in our Discord server or by creating a ticket in our support help desk. You can see once this is copied over, we're going to shut down the Mac like so. I'm just going to untick that, shut down. Once this is shut down, then we just need to remove the temporary disks. So once it's shut down, go to Hardware. You can see IDE 0 and IDE 2. We just need to remove these. So clicking on Detach, yes. Detach again, yes. and just click remove. You can leave them there if you want to use them later. I just remove them. Click on remove. Then if we go back to console and boot up our virtual machine again, we should hopefully get a screen like this. macOS, press enter. It will boot in 10, I think it's 5 seconds if you don't click enter. But you can see here it is loading up. So that's macOS Sequoia, the new way using Proxmox. If you want to work out how to pass through a GPU to obviously enhance your experience, please check the description below for a pass-through guide. But that's going to be it for the video tutorial. If you did like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing, as we are quite close to 8,000 subscribers, which is great. Thanks ever so much for watching. Goodbye.